If you've been following this channel for any amount of time, you notice the basic theme of what we do is trying to get the most from the least. My operating theory on this is that if you take like 100% of the automotive community, 25% have the wherewithal to pretty much go buy what they need. It's not a big imposition to go buy new parts and send things off to fancy shops and all of that. And then there's the 75%, the vast majority, that work regular jobs, that have to save to buy parts, that have to scrimp, that work with in less than ideal conditions. And those are the people who we try to reach on this channel. We try to be more of an inspiration than anything else. Look, if we could do this, you could do it too. Here's how we did it. So that's the theme of this channel for the most part. And by reading comments, I know we have a lot of guys who are just learning. We have a lot of, we do Mopar content mostly, right? But we have people that have racers and BMWs and Chevys and everything under the sun, and they like the channel, they're drawn to the channel because of that do-it-yourself basic thing. It also brings us a lot of trolls. Like there's a lot of people who don't like the fact that we try to show people that you could work with, like really work with junk and get some good results. I've got an engine shop in Cookville that literally trolls me like all over YouTube. But this is who we work for. We're working for you guys. The ones who are learning, the ones that have minimal resources and are trying to get the biggest bang for the buck. So, that being said, this is an engine that I pulled out of the core pile over there last week, and getting ready to strip it down and build it. And I said to myself, wait a minute, here's a perfect learning opportunity. Here's a perfect, inspirational thing for somebody who really is working off the bare basics. What if we built this engine and we did it step by step, like from where it is right now? It's a little windy out here. It's still winter in Tennessee. It's early February. What if we went from where it is right now? It's locked up. It's the cylinder bores are rusted on this side over here. You come around and see this. It's like here. Okay, this is what we got. This is all right. So here's the engine. Here's the core engine in its untouched state. What if we took this engine and did it step by step from where it is right now to a complete running engine where we could drop in a car and go? And we did it all with just basic hand tools, and then we did the assembly of this in our kitchen. Because a lot of you guys don't even have a garage. That you're working in apartments, my very first 426, so the very first 426 Hemi I ever built, I was 25 years old, and we were living in an apartment in Huguenot at the time, on Staten Island. And I built the engine in our kitchen, complete. Panther carb 426 Hemi. And then me and the landlord's kid, Anthony Cavicchia, I still love you, man. He was 16. He helped me get it out of the kitchen, and we broke the porch on the side of the house, getting it out of the house. So I'm no stranger to doing things like this. And then, of course, with the drag racing, there were lots of motel room rebuilds and stuff like that. But that's what I want to do with this. I want to take this engine, and I want to go from exactly where it is right now, and go step by step, make all of the determinations what machine work is going to need to be done with this, because it's obviously going to have to be bored. How to do all of the checks, how to order parts, all of the basic steps. That we go from this to a complete running engine, and we're going to do all of the assembly work in the kitchen. I'm not going to take this to the house the way it is and break it down in my kitchen. So we're going to do this in our dirty area the same way you would do it like on the side of your house. But yeah, we're going to do the actual assembly of this engine in our kitchen at home, using nothing but basic tools. So it ought to be fun. I love doing stuff like this. No, I don't even love doing stuff like this. I do stuff like this just out of reflex. It's like, this is just, it's how I run. It's how I think. So that's it. I'm not going to do anything else on this right now. The next installment, tomorrow and the next day probably, we'll knock the pistons out of this and start looking over the block just to make sure that we got a good sample here. Now, this is important to keep in mind. This is not a specific type of engine that we're going to build. I know the specifics of this engine, and you'll see them as we go along, but that's not the point of this series. The point of this series is going to be as generic as possible. Everything that we do with this and the way we explain things and describe things are going to be transferable to any type of engine that you're going to build. You know, it could be a Merc Cruiser out of your boat, it could be a BMW, it doesn't make any difference. We're going to keep it as generic as possible, and it's just going to be how to build an engine, step by step, in your kitchen. I'll see you tomorrow.